Good evening, hello and welcome to round number 16 of the LeBLANC Australian Online Supercar Championship. This is the Charlotte 150 from the Charlotte Roval, presented by LeBLANC and West End Mazda. We are SimSpeed TV. I am Jay Kennedy, alongside me in the booth, as always, for these awesome nights of racing. Scott Fountain, Fonty. It's going to be an awesome night of racing. Cameron Dance here as well, but we go to the Roval for the first time, the brand new release of the Charlotte Roval. Also got something a little bit special with starting at the sunset. The lights will turn on soon and we're going to go into the night.
Yes, you're certainly right, Jay. Welcome everybody here to another Friday night of V8 Supercar racing here on SimSpeed. So it's going to be a cool night of racing. Day-night transitions has finally been released. It's been a long time coming. I know, being around iRacing for nearly 8 years, and you know, it's always been something for me that I really wanted to see implemented, and to see it finally come to light and you know, put out to the world has been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we start this event in the evening, and it will go into the dark, I believe. So that's pretty cool, and yeah, new track, which yeah, very exciting. So I can't believe we're right at the end of the championship.
It's been a long championship, but for the most part it's been pretty action-packed. Cam, we've been watching some racing here earlier in the day, and the challenge for the drivers is going to be very intense, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually not a lot of runoff, despite the fact it's on a Roval, more or less. You've got a lot of concrete walls and a lot of tyre bundles around the circuit there. If you do put a foot wrong, you do actually end up in it quite quickly. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the drivers tackle this circuit. I know it's actually not too bad to drive, and it's actually quite enjoyable in the V8, but yeah, it's one thing to hot lap around here, it's a totally different thing to race. So yeah, I reckon we're going to be in for one heck of a race tonight, and some interesting moments to say the least. Yep,
definitely. 41 laps ahead for the drivers. Of course, we will have a safety car at some point as well. Pit window between laps 9 and 32, so fairly open window for the drivers. We'll likely see a lot of those cars in the pits very early. Depending on when the safety car does get called, of course there is a chance for a safety car very early. Mostly cloudy conditions, but as you can see, the lights are not too far off coming on in the background. Very gloomy conditions at the moment. So while we are about to get some qualifying action up on screen, we'll quickly go to the Drivers' Championship as it is right now. And leading the way is Brett Loxton. He's got a very comfortable lead over Jordan Ross and Kyle Stokes. Kyle Stokes changing teams midweek. Now gone to Evolution Racing Team, which has caught a few drivers by surprise. Be interesting to see how he goes there. Ross Rizzo in 4th and David Kidman in 5th position. The Non-Endurance Championship has Brett Loxton leading the way once again, and he has that championship wrapped up already at this point. So congratulations to Brett Loxton. He's the Non-Endurance champion regardless of his result tonight. In regards to the Teams Championship, that is still very close. KRF Motorsports leading the way, but Watercraft Zuva Racing and Pursuit Sim Racing very close behind. The battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th is very close, and the TTL Challenge, only 2 rounds remaining in the TTL Driver Academy Challenge, and Mitchell Bales leading the way there over David Miller and Chris Robinson. Now we go into qualifying, about 20 minutes to go, and it's actually very close at the front of the field. Top 9, 7/10 of a second. It is fairly spread from that point back, but those front 4 cars, 1/10 of a second, sorry, what's that? 1/10 of a second, the front 6. It's very close at the front of the field.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Jay. It's absolutely fantastic to see new track, and these drivers are certainly getting out there and cutting some laps and finding every bit of time that they possibly can. Harley Haber currently leading, which yeah, is pretty good for Harley. He's certainly improved his driving in recent times, and yeah, he's come a long way with just his overall cleanliness and you know, consistency of his driving. So I'm sure he's going to be looking for a great result. As always, we have the Warren brothers right there, sitting 2nd and 3rd. Brady Myers, he will sit in position 4th, and Jackson Harlow will move into 5th. And as you said, Jay, he has recently moved teams as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes under the TTL colours.
You just see there Harley Haber, massive moment coming through the back chicane. Drivers are trying to take that as aggressive as possible, but Cam, it is so easy to get that back chicane wrong, and also you don't want to touch this blue sausage curb, as Dane Warren's just been so aggressive over that curb there. That lap may be invalidated for him as he crosses the line. It looks like it was.
Yeah, it's really a chicane you can't afford to put 1 foot wrong, because using just a little bit too much curb or not enough of it, and you either understeer off the track or the thing just throws you into that tyre bundle at the end of it. So it's really a challenging set of corners, and really, yeah, actually Brady is around, but yeah, it's a really challenging bit of racetrack, and it takes a lot of commitment to be fast through there. And looking at the times, it's actually really interesting to see the difference between the top lot of the field. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and I think the track's going to reward those that are really committed and actually do take the risks.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll actually jump on board here with Ethan Warren as he goes to start a lap. I was talking to Ethan earlier. He was saying it's very unpredictable to get that back chicane right, as we're having some tech issues with Ethan. We're back, but turn 1, you can be so aggressive over the curb, and then you come through this concrete section, almost like a street circuit feel, through turns 2 and 3. And you come up to the back section, which is the old back straight in the old Roval. So we might not go with Ethan for this hot lap because he's having some tech issues. But this is the new section of circuit through the second half of the infield here. Originally, the plan for the circuit was to go off where the blue cones were there and continue up on the inside and then up to the banking. The guys are running it so wide. It's amazing how wide they're running there. This is the full commitment section. Watch how committed the car is coming up through these through the chicane here. Bounce it off the inside curb on the left, then on the right. You don't want to touch the second curb. You see Benjamin Smith upside down right beside.
Wow.
Got to watch out for that second curb on the right hand side. It will absolutely throw the car all sorts of off balance. Ethan Warren now coming across the line, probably a bit too aggressive at that final sausage curb, and that lap time is invalidated just due to that last sector. Go to another driver potentially on a flying lap. Jackson Susan Harlow looks like he might be on a flyer.
Here we go, Jackson. He's no slug. Now we've seen himself and the man in position 1 at the moment, Harley Haber. They've been going at it in between this series, the official series on Monday. Pretty hard between them, and there's no layover loss between those guys. So interesting to see how Jackson does on this lap. Tell you what, very difficult circuit. I'll probably struggle to get through turn 1. Jay would probably struggle even to get it off the line around here.
I wouldn't get out of the pits.
No, yeah, so, you know, at least Jay's honest about that. And, big commitment there from Harlow. I tell you what, that's absolutely fantastic. I look forward to having a drive of this at some stage.
This lap looks like it could be an improvement as the lights start to come on here at Charlotte. See how dark it's got, and that's an improvement for Jackson Susan Harlow, and he goes to the top of the timesheet.
Oh,
Great
look
lap.
at that.
Great lap.
Wow, that is fantastic stuff.
Go next to Brady Myers. It's a track that a lot of drivers are fairly familiar with for the most part. This is a track you do a little bit of racing in the MX-5 from back in the day. Myers making contact with another car there. Just
Mark Newton.
Yeah, just sitting on the apex there. That's not ideal. I'll see if we can pick up another driver. We'll go to Michael Taliancic, who's about to start a flying lap, but it's amazing that this circuit, there's the 2 extra chicanes from what the original circuit was. How much that changes the driving style of these cars, and how much it's adjustment there is for guys that have probably done so many laps in a very slow car in comparison. To jump out there in the V8, it's been a real change and a real experience for some of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And the track has been changed in a few ways as well. It's not so bumpy through the infield, so it's a little bit of a culture shock, but at the same time, like you said, everybody will be mostly used to it, as there's pretty busy in pit exit.
Yeah, Kyle Stokes just made contact with another car, and see new colours for Kyle, as we said, off to Evolution Racing Team. Now as we'll go to James McKee, and we'll see if we can pick up his lap. No, he's on an out lap as well. We'll see if we can pick up a driver on a flying lap. Tom Curran's about to start a flying lap. Let's go with Tom. A driver that's found a little bit of pace recently. I saw him in a couple of practice sessions during the week, and he looked pretty consistent. He was one of the drivers that might not have had the best outright one-lap pace, but he was very, very consistent at this circuit, and I think attrition is going to be the big key to tonight. You just want to keep it out of the walls and keep it out of trouble. You'll find yourself a decent result.
Oh, big commitment there from Tom. Hanging it out right out sideways. Yes, we've seen results. This is certainly some great pace showing from him. He's reasonably new, what I believe, to the iRacing scene and running for Redback Racing Team, which Mark over at Redback does a fantastic job, and they've really come a long way over this year, and that was certainly recognised with a prize for their efforts and what they did in their social media and how they've really come up in the V8 Supercar Online Premier Series Awards at the end of the year. And yeah, great speed. Oh, so committed there. Is he going to keep it going is the next question. These cars, you're certainly on the limit. I tell you what, one mistake around here and it's race over. I reckon you'd go as, you know, snail pace and you probably do it right. That's normally Jay's pace anyway. So
hey, I might have a chance of someone else want to take over the stream and I'll go out and jump out on track. Just go Brady Myers. Lovely the commitment there.
That was committed. I don't know if is he gonna be able to get that lap though.
That still counts. Does still count there. You don't lose lose your 0x or 1x penalty. So as long as you can get the final chicane right, which he does, it's not going to be an improvement.
Power down. No improvement.
One thing that we've noticed over the past little while is when pre-qualifying was on for the 2-hour session earlier, is as soon as the sun comes out, the track temp increases astronomically quickly. Seeing 10-15 degree track temperature differences within a 5 and 10 minute period just from the sun coming out. So the UV has changed in the track dynamics with the dynamic sky, even with the weather being static and the air temperature being the same the whole way through. The track temperature evolves so quickly and changes so much.
Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously a lot of this is still in kind of test phase, I would say, and you know, I'm sure they'll make some changes to make it more realistic. Maybe it does grow that much. I'm not too sure. I think that you know, certainly with cars going around it, when you got 40 cars around there, the track temp will certainly increase dramatically. I think that's definitely a lap done there for Brady Myers. We saw him just collect that inside tyre there. We're going to go back now to Harley Haber. Can he manage to take that P1 off his rival, being Jackson Susan Harlow? He's going to come through that next section, and is he going to be able to do it? No, not quite. So potentially with the sun going down, the track temp is lowering. I think as soon as the sun drops behind the grandstand, I think we'll see the track temp drop, and Ethan Warren gets a little bit bored coming through the chicane. I tell you what, that line was still pretty quick from him. Yeah. This could be a good lap here. See what he can do. You're almost straight lining that section of the track, aren't you?
You're dropping it down one gear.
A little bit slower. Okay. Yeah, so I have to watch it a bit slower and see how they're going. But yeah, certainly a very committed part of the track.
Oh, good lap.
Want to be going. Yeah, good lap.
P1.
Very good lap. Wow, fantastic. He's in the 12s. So Ethan Warren. So now that the sun has gone down, track's going fast. These guys, if you're in the pit lane, you want to get yourself out there as quickly as possible, because you know, it's only going to get faster. Now we're going to see, I reckon, if you can put a good lap together.
Coming out of the pits here. Jake Maloney could get in trouble.
They must have heard me.
It'll be the first time anyone's ever listened to you about a sim race.
Well, you know, yeah, no, that's you're definitely not wrong there. But yeah, you're exactly right. The temperature is a massive, and it's, you know, something that these guys haven't. Although we've had varying, you know, temperature of the day, the track temperature hasn't really changed as dramatically as what it is. And now that with day-night transition, we are going to see it take huge effect on how qualifying ends out. Now, I reckon you're going to see in the last 2 minutes, if you set yourself up for a good lap and you manage to put a good one together, well, you know, you're going to have a better advantage than you did certainly at the start of the session when the sun was shining.
This is committed from Maloney. We'll see what he can do here. Currently P6, needs to find just over a quarter of a second to go to P1. He doesn't have to find too much to pip his teammate. He only needs 200ths of a second, committed over the curbs.
What a line.
12-0.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Here we go. So times are tumbling. Who else can we see? Are we going to see Harley Haber coming back and respond and come back to P1? Are we going to see Jackson come back and respond? Those two guys, they are so close
Haber
all the time. Here we go. Commitment here from Harley Haber. Hanging it out. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Running the pink livery tonight, which is pretty cool.
Well, that lap from... yeah, easy to see once the lights come on. The one thing with that lap from Maloney, it was so smooth through this chicane.
Oh.
And look at the air from Haber. This looks very, very quick as well.
Yep, certainly does. Maybe the hanging out sideways might have slowed him down a little bit, but there's not much track to go. We're going to come through the last right-hander, the left-hander. Launch it off the curb.
No.
And up to the line. Not quite, but he's going to move up slightly. No improvement there. So can Harlow respond?
It's about to start a flying lap.
Maloney, here we go. So we've got Guy Leach behind him as well. Watch out for Guy Leach because Guy is very, very fast. And he has been around for a very long time, probably longer than what me and Jay have.
Yep. He's one of the originals, Guy Leach.
Yes. Yep, he is one of the originals. So he absolutely loves the supercar. And, well, when you've got a fast guy like Jackson Harlow in front of you, it's certainly going to give you a bit of an advantage. I don't think, well, drafting isn't going to play a huge effect. Obviously, we do have long straights, but they're quite short. You will get some sort of advantage from it. What can Jackson do this lap?
Love how committed they are coming onto the Roval, almost clipping onto the oval, I should say, almost clipping the wall. Let's see what Jackson Suzlin Harlow can do in his debut with his new team, TTL Esports. Commitment through the chicane, just clips.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Hey, what? That's fantastic. That is hold your breath stuff going through there.
$12.15. I think he might do it here. Is he going to get 11?
Oh, no, he's made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, quick. Oh, no, didn't actually go quick enough.
Wow, so there is nothing in it between these guys now. Look how close those times are on the right-hand side of your screen. This is fantastic stuff. We've got Marlon McMullen now. He has been around for a while. Doesn't race all the time, but certainly when he turns up and has a crack, he is always one who is at the pointy end. Dane Warren. Now that's a name who, in theory, we would normally see him right up there for those sort of front three positions. Maybe he hasn't done as many laps as what his brother has.
Can confirm they were both doing testing prior to qualifying, and Dane was a lot quicker than Ethan. So I think Ethan might have found something in the last little bit, but let's see how committed. Oh, that's awful.
There we go. Don't think that lap's going to count.
No, we're going to Brett
Loxton. Here we go. Brett Loxton. He is done. So Harley Haber, he is now on a lap. Looks very committed. Don't have split times up at the stage, but I'll tell you what, Harley, he wants to get it done. And
look at him using the draft there too.
Yes, he is.
Clever driving from Mitchell Bales. They're working there to get that draft from Bales and looking good through the chicane. Just enough commitment, not over the top.
Though. Yeah, not as committed as what Maloney was, but if you don't need to be as committed through that section, as we're going to see him dive through that right-hander, through the left-hander, gets a decent run out, doesn't clip the wall, but still no improvement on the time. So he's only really going to have one more chance, I would think, after this. Go grab himself a new set of tyres. Can Harlow respond to Maloney again? Good run. Not as close this time, but still a good run.
I just do want to point out that the track has actually dropped a degree, and it's actually fluctuating between 27 and 26 at the moment. So a little bit interesting to watch how it's fluctuating and where it's doing in Harlow almost.
Tell you what, Cam, that section of the track, the right-left, reminds me a lot of Te Puke racetrack. When you come up the hill in a go-kart and they go through that section, it's so committed.
Yeah, I do have to admit, it actually does remind me of it, to be honest.
So close from Harlow. Jackson Susan Harlow nearly improved. Let's see what Ethan Warren can do as he starts his flying lap. This is his last chance. If he does need to abort the lap, he needs to do it very early. 3 minutes on the clock.
Oh, good line. See Leach in the background there. Is he on a lap or is he trying to chase?
I don't think Leach is on a lap, but Warren definitely is, and you can also see Maloney's just come out of the pits as well. So a few.
Maloney's going to get the chance.
Yep.
To improve if Warren manages to take it. There is absolutely nothing in these top guys.
Have a look over the shoulder here and watch the gear number change. Hard on the throttle, still on the throttle, still on the throttle. Tap the brake, down one gear, back on the throttle.
Oh! I tell you what, that was super close.
He knew he only had one chance left there, and Brenton O'Brien will be coming in for a change of undies.
Yeah.
Ethan Warren just pulls it up. This looks good.
Yeah,
no improvement.
So, track maybe slowed up a little bit. All these drivers just giving everything. We've got Harley Haber on screen now. Big sideways moment for him. He's on his last lap. This is going to be his last attempt at doing it, unless he manages to make it to the line and run another lap after this, but his tyres may be worn out by that stage. Such a cool section of track. So fast and flowing, and really lots of elevation change, which is really cool. I certainly look forward to having a drive of this.
Looks like Marlon McMullen is done, so he won't improve. Brett Loxton looks like he might be done as well. Brady Myers, Harley Haber, Jackson Susan Harlow, Ethan Warren and Jake Maloney all having another crack. That was committed from Haber.
Yeah, he wants this. He wants to get up there. I tell you what, if he can put it on P1, team manager Mark Samuel, he would be over the moon. Last corner, good run. Gets the power down. Oh,
that's close. Not quite able to get that lap done to improve. He's going to have another crack, but
oh,
be a tough ask.
He is.
Maloney crosses the line. He's into the 11s.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Didn't count.
What, that is
No, it didn't.
Didn't count.
Okay.
So Jackson Susan Harlow is going to be the last one to be able to get this lap in. Wow, this has been a thoroughly entertaining qualifying session. This has been one of probably the best qualifying session we've had in any series all year.
Yeah, I agree. It's been really, really action-packed, and with that fluctuating track team, it's actually made it really interesting because everybody's been getting different times and different pace and all that sort of stuff, and it's really mixed the field up really, really well.
Checkered flag is out for qualifying. James McKee's about to cross the line, just pulls it up.
Yeah, he
doesn't
touched the
improve
grass. I've noticed that the drivers are clipping that grass on the left-hand side. We now flick back to Guy Leach. Whoa! Big moment there for Guy.
And Bo Albert in the wall in the background as well.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest.
He'll appreciate you saying that too when he watches back later.
He will appreciate it. Hello, Bo. Bo is one of our resident commentators here. Likes to give me a hard time at times. So just getting my opportunity.
If you want to know the hard time that Bo gives Fonty, he always says when Fonty jumps into the director's seat for Monday Night V8s, he needs to get Google Translate to understand what Fonty's saying in his ear. So that's the banter that goes on between those two. Warren Pickering, have a look at the committed slide. He's going to improve here. Yes.
No, does he? Okay. So
finds 4/10 on the last lap, jumps 6 spots.
There we go. Fantastic stuff. Henry King. Now he is a little bit further down than
Greg Sharp just jumped on the last lap to 11th. Good job from him.
Yeah, Greg is a good driver, and we see him many times have great battles with guys.
Well, starting grid is up on screen because there is no more drivers on flying laps. Jake Maloney did get into the 11s, but it didn't count. But he will start from pole with Ethan Warren alongside. Jackson Susan Harlow and Harley Haber will continue their rivalry on the second row of the grid. Brady Myers, Dane Warren, Brett Loxton and Marlon McMullen round at the top 8. The 5th row of the grid is Griffin Gardner and Tom Curran.
There we go. Back to 11th. We've got Greg Sharp. Well done to him. Kyle Stokes. New team for him with Evolution Racing. He is in P12. James McKee. He is in 13th. David Kinman, 14th. Guy Leach, 15th. Brendan Jackson in 16th. Then we go to 17th. Adam Wayborn. Benjamin Smith will start in P18. Michael Taliancic a little bit further down than what I would expect in P19. Mitchell Bales rounds out the 20.
From 21st to rounding out the top 30, it is Corey Ott, Bo Albert, Jamie Stovelod, Jamie McKnight, Warren Pickering, Kai Sloggett, Matthew Kidd, Henry King, Brad Haig, and Matthew Cloak to round it.
And then the rest of the field, Shane Evans, Stephen Varga, Tony Gaffer, Simon Mazzomo, Daniel Stevens, Troy DeBono, Brent O'Brien, Jonathan Ben, Chris Barnes, Trent Gossley. The rest of the drivers will come up on your screen because we are about ready to get underway. Brett Gerardis, David Starton, Danny Vassell, David Miller and Mark Newton. The rest of the field. 45 cars tonight. We will have a caution at some point in this race. Not 100% sure when it will be, which will always make the racing very, very interesting. And as you can see, the lights are not too far from coming on here at the Charlotte International Motor Speedway. Charlotte Motor Speedway, even, if I actually use the right words.
There we go. What a
English is not my
fantastic
strong
track.
point.
No, well, we've known that ever since day one of our old
years.
brand. You know, since the old Vats Online, we are now SimSpeed Esports Network. Many different departments there, and Jay's still learning how to speak English. And you know, don't worry, I'm not far behind him. So
I'm not saying anything.
that's why we do well on a Friday night together. And you know, I tell you what, this is look at that. To start there, when you're going through the S section. When you're sideways, that would be incredibly difficult to get it off the line in one of these cars.
We have got it off the line and away we go. 41 laps ahead for these drivers and a good jump at the front for Jake Maloney. It looks like the rest of the field is fanning out fairly cleanly. Got 3 wide back in the field, but we've got cars around in the background.
Yeah, very difficult track. We did talk about this before the race went live. Now, you stay out of trouble, you're going to do well.
It's on for the lead.
Here we go. We have 2 TCL cars going at it there. And Harley Haber, he is sitting comfortably in P3 at the moment. A little bit of a gap, though, up to Ethan Warren and Jake Maloney.
Watch the draft advantage that Ethan Warren will get here. You'll see how quickly he closes it up, but he might not be able to get it done. He's going to have to get out of the throttle because these guys going side by side into this bus stop chicane will not work.
No, it will not. And are we going to see? We are going to see. Oh, there we go. So Harlow, he has run off, and you saw that as he came through that fast section of the S there, just launched off the curb, and well, he has kept it off the wall, but he's in a difficult position now. He should let that redback car go, tuck him behind, and then he's going to have a run again. Oh, a little bit of contact there. A little bit further back. That's one of the all-star cars.
Yeah, Benjamin Smith and Adam Wyborn nearly making contact with Michael Taliancic coming in behind as well. But back up the front, Maloney and Ethan Warren, they've just broken away and they're going to continue this fight. Harley Haber has lost a fair bit of ground to these guys. They've got cars around in the background. Corey Ott stopped on the circuit.
Oh, Corey, what are you doing, son? That is not the position that you want to be in. He waited there.
West End Mazda replay.
Mazda. Big thanks to West End Mazda. Jamie McKnight over there, huge supporter of us, huge supporter of sim racing. We can't thank him enough for what he has done for sim racing and for us. And if you need a Mazda, new or used,
just need a car.
Yeah, need a car. Just need a car. Go see Jamie. He'll sort you out. Because tell him that West End. Oh, here we go.
Interesting. We're just talking about. Interesting. We're talking about Jamie. No, Jake Maloney's around.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look and see what happened there.
Oh, he's hit the curb through the chicane.
There we go. It bites, doesn't it? This track bites hard. And he has gone from hero to zero in one corner. A mistake. And this is given so much of an advantage. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was pretty unfortunate. And those other cars were so lucky not to have a tag with him there.
So Ethan Warren now has a 2-second advantage over Haber and Dane Warren. Dane and Harley here need to work together, use the draft with each other to close that gap back up. They've already got lap traffic in between. I can see Henry King's in between them. Henry's already been into the pits to get some damage fixed. Haber's clipping the wall. Brett Loxton's around.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the very best in our championship here are making mistakes left, right, and centre. Snail's pace. Go Jay Kennedy pace, guys, because you'll do well.
Just attrition. It's all about attrition this race, and I'm wondering if Loxton may have been helped here. See if we can pick it up. But my suspicion is that he's checked up a little early. You can see McMullen up the inside. And he's hit the curb. Yeah, McMullen hit the curb there, and then it's just catapulted him into Loxton.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Brett Loxton, he has wrapped up the non-endurance championship, so well done to Brett. He won't be too concerned, obviously, being a new race, and you want to finish the championship off the last couple of rounds on a high. And yeah, he can come back from this. We are going to see a safety car, so he could still come back, but we are going to see many incidents to come, I feel. Having a look now at Dane Warren, Harley Haber, this battle continues.
Good fight going on between these guys as well. But what these guys are doing, they're allowing Ethan Warren to just break off up the road. He's now got the gap out to over 2 seconds. 2.4 seconds between Dane Warren and Ethan Warren now.
There we go. Dane is going to the high line. There he goes. He's going to go on the outside. Here we go. Fantastic shot. Chopper cam. Harley has the way. Oh, this is going to unsettle the car. Oh, that was super close. I tell you what, such an intense racetrack that the guy makes a mistake in front of you. You've really got nowhere to go, do you?
And just remember back, Fonty, to round 3 of this championship at Daytona. No love lost between Harley Haber and Dane Warren.
Haber just touched the wall there. I think he's got away with it though, but Dane is putting pressure.
Dane's at the wall.
And Dane has touched the wall. Look at that sideways moment. Drift comp there for Harley Haber, and I don't know if we are going to see a straight car at the end of this race.
I think it's almost impossible that we'll see a straight car come the end of this race. You can see scrapes all down the sides of every car in the field at the moment. The lights are just about to come on here at the Daytona Motor Speedway.
Oh, Dane was super lucky there not to clip the wall.
He's got to run now though. He's going to have to go the outside though to get it to work. It's going to be a tough ask.
Now these guys, both young guys, need to keep their head cool here. Harley's going to squeeze him, but he's going to the inside line. Dane's going to have to back out. What he needs to do is really set himself up at a perfect spot. Figure out where Harley's weak spot is and really take advantage of that.
100%. I think Dane probably needs to just back off a little bit and try and maintain the momentum through the chicane, as we're seeing a change of position side by side. Tom Curran now up into 5th position ahead of Marlon McMullen. Curran's on a charge. He started 8th, sorry. He's now into 5th, and he's got some good pace. Go back to Haber and Warren. No contact between the two.
Oh, here we go. So Harley Haber, he is... Wow, here we go. So Warren now up the inside, and he's going to have the inside line for the next turn. Harley Haber has to renege and give it up, but Harley's going to stick his nose in there anyway. No, he has to back out. So,
good fight.
Great driving from these two young guys, going hard at it. And we're only on lap number 6 of 41, so plenty of racing to go, guys.
It is a fairly long race when you look at it at 41 laps, but the lap time's only 72 seconds, and they'll get quicker as Marlon McMullen's having issues. He's very, very slow. Has McMullen blown an engine?
Potentially, yes. Not hearing much going on there, so...
Oh, Dane's around!
Hell no. What has happened here? We're going to have to go back and have a look. A West End Mazda replay about to come on. We're going to see our front guys. What's happened? This is hard stuff. I'll tell you what. The best in
I would have had a chance of a top 10 the way this is going.
Mate, I tell you what, you would have had a chance at winning this, mate. Like, you know,
I don't know about that. Oh, jeez.
There we go. So that was all done on his own. The experienced Dane Warren, he won a virtual sim racing showdown our second live event that we broadcasted. He won that, has a test in a Formula 4 car.
That'd be a good prize, wouldn't it? Formula 1 car.
Oh, yeah, wow.
We'd be retiring and
it's only
just
a number.
practicing on sim
I
racing.
can't count to 1 to 10, so...
You have to take your hand out of your pocket to work out what the car
I
was.
did. Sorry, guys. But yes, anyway, he has made a mistake there. One of the best sim racing has to offer in our region of the world. Absolutely fantastic racing, and yeah, literally you stay out of trouble, you're going to do well here.
Yeah, I think a few guys will start to work out now that you really need to keep the car out of trouble, keep it clean, and you'll do well. Jackson Suzlin Harlow's got James McKee tucked in behind. Tom Curran now into 4th position out on his own. Said he was going to be one to watch.
Yep.
Well and truly in this now. Gaps at the front have really stretched out, but this pack behind Jackson Suzlin Harlow is starting to close up. And have a look at Benjamin Smith and Guy Leach going at it here.
Here we go. Guy Leach, as we were talking about just before, he's been around for a very long time. Actually, he has a pretty straight car at the moment.
Yeah.
Always a very clean and consistent driver is Guy.
Very clean.
Oh, I love the different lines coming into turn 2 there as they sort of shoot around and work out different positions on the track that they can use. It's always awesome to watch the different angles that they take. We noticed earlier in the day, we did a little bit of testing this morning, Cam, and we're watching a few of the Roval races in the NASCAR Cup Series cars, and I don't think we saw a single race that we watched today where a car was straight by the end, and they were only 15-lap races.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see, albeit it's week 13, but yeah, there was at least a car out there that had some sort of panel damage, whether it be scrapes up the side from rubbing the outside walls, fender damage from hitting tyre bundles.
Oh, sharp!
Yeah,
big crash.
There we go. So, I tell you what, it's yeah, you make a mistake, and, you know, the guy who is behind you has really no chance coming through that section.
On board with Greg Sharp at the moment. You can see just got it wrong through the first part of the chicane, and by then there was nothing he could have done, nothing Guy Leach could have done to avoid it as well, because at this point he just got it wrong at the first part of the chicane and already into the tyre barriers, and Guy Leach, you can see, made fairly decent contact as well. Hopefully his car's okay.
Looks to be alright.
Yeah, I think he might have just got away with it, actually, looking at...
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Another replay. So
That was a big hit.
yeah, it was.
He's let
I
Smith
think
go as well.
Okay, so maybe he is struggling. Certainly a bit of front end damage, that's for sure. But we are going to see a safety car. I reckon pit crew's going to be pretty busy this event.
I think you're right. And one thing too, pit window opens this lap, so we could see some guys jump in now, get some damage fixed, and hope that they can time it right for the safety car. I've seen some guys mistime it. Oh, look at Benjamin Smith!
Oh,
all 4 wheels off the
just
ground.
launch it. Yeah, don't worry about turning, son. Just launch it.
Saving a bit of rubber there.
Yeah, well, he is, isn't he? So that's the way to do it. If you you make your car fly, you're gonna hold on.
Well, it's
to
more
that
fuel
rubber.
economical as well.
Here we
probably.
go. Leach has got to run, and he's got. Is he gonna look, or is he gonna back out? Back out and wait for Smith to make a mistake. Hopefully, it's not going through the chicane. So much different lines when they come in there, isn't there? Just really, Leach takes a completely different line to most of the others.
Well, one thing there is it's so wide and then it narrows up so quickly, so you can sort of throw it from so many different angles to get it done, because it's all about momentum as opposed to actually turning into the corner and getting a right line. So I am noticing as well that we've got about 10 or 12 cars that have just come into the pits as well. So pit lane has well and truly opened for drivers to get it home. It's, not too far of seeing the lights come on. You can see the sun is really starting to set off in the westerly sky. And here we see Leach looking up the inside, not quite close enough. He's doing what we were talking earlier that Dave Warren should have been trying to do, but I think Leach might be down on power and might be coming into the lane this time. Or not. He's going to continue on for another lap and prove me wrong once again, as per normal. We'll go back one more battle, though, because Michael Taliancic has got someone who I'm a bit surprised by this. Bo Albert doing very, very well.
No,
He's at
that's
11th.
wrong. Yeah, no, that's wrong.
Who's driving on his car? Who's driving his car?
Because I tell you what, this is not Bo.
Oh, here we go.
Would the real Bo please stand up, because we all know that. Here we go.
McKnight made contact there with Brendan Jackson.
I need to see another angle from that one, because that was a very hard part of the track. The track obviously squares off very quickly through there. So McKnight he's gone up the inside at the last minute as he helped him. Good. He's given him a little bit of a help. That
was a good little move from McKnight, and then he's just sort of slid out a little bit there, probably trying to get the power down.
With the wall closing off, it's hard to say. I'd say that's kind of a bit more of a racing incident.
Another one of those ones where we're glad we're not in race control, hey?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in race control here. I think you'd be handing in your notice after this.
Shout out to you, Nick. I know you are watching. Enjoy during the week. That's all I'm going to say.
Focused on Brett Loxton now. The man has won the championship. He's out there to burn some Dunlop rubber, and that is what he's doing. Currently in P18, we saw him have an issue, as we're seeing Brendan Jackson now.
Oh,
he has in the wall, and that car is not looking good.
He was already having trouble after hitting the wall there with that contact with McKnight, and he just couldn't turn the car. Just didn't want to turn it. Tell you what, that's a different position to be. Up on the wall.
Yeah, just sit it there. Leave it there. Get out the car and throw your toys up the bed.
Warren Pickering looking up the inside of Jamie McKnight. Not quite close enough. They're going to go side by side through this section of the track. This is dangerous.
Here we go. Honestly, this is such a difficult circuit to make a clean
Ethan Warren around from the lead.
Oh no. Here we go. So this proves it. Jay, you would have done fantastic, mate.
No, I would have been in the wall on that one.
That was a huge moment as well. Same as Maloney, pretty much.
Oh. So as the rubber wears out, people make mistakes. Who's your pick for the win now, guys?
I called Tom Curran at the start to say watch out for him.
Yeah.
Could be on him. Brent O'Brien also around
for it as well.
Harley Haber is now leading the race. The gap between Haber Curran, 6.8 seconds. I tell you what, Harley just needs to back it off and, back off 2/10 and stay away from the wall, keep it off those curbs, because everyone's making those mistakes through the curbs. If Harley can manage to do that, he's going to be able to bring it home. Now, we do have that safety car period, which is going to bunch everybody up, and we'll put that pressure back on. So that 7-second gap, he can kiss goodbye to. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish either way. Who's last at the moment? I'm going to go for them to finish.
Last car on the lead lap is Jake Maloney.
There we go. So
he has
I'm going
pitted
for
3 laps ago as well. So Maloney is in a decent spot.
Haber's in his too. Oh.
Yep, Haber's in the pits. So here we go. And Guy Leach, Michael Taliancic, Bo Albert, David Kinman in this pack here, 7th through to 10th. Haber in the pits. He'll be trying to get this stop done as quick as possible.
He will.
Leach in the pits.
Can Haber come home and bring home his first win? Or are we going to see the likes of Maloney come back and take it? Yeah, it's really hard to call. I tell you what, Bo Albert in 7, that's a shock to my system. Yeah, that's an absolute shock. I don't believe it for a second. It's the biggest shot
since Corey Ott led a lap in V8 Scops.
Yeah, well, did that happen?
Yeah, it did.
It did indeed.
No, you guys.
He was the only car that didn't pit, but he legitimately led a lap.
There we go. So they weren't pulling my leg. They've explained why. But anyway, fantastic driving here from Bo. He doesn't normally jump.
Danny Vassell in the wall.
Car. Danny Vassell is in the wall. That's no good for him. But yes, getting back to Bo. Bo doesn't normally jump in and drive this car at all.
There's contact between Jackson, Susan and Harlow.
Yeah, so. And does he collect someone after that, maybe?
I think he might have made a little bit of contact. It was actually Tom Curran originally that there was contact with Vassell there. And then
Harlow's tried to make the most of it, and there we go. So
just watch Vassell's join back onto the oval circuit, and I think he's made contact with the wall. You can see car crabbing quite bad, not handling all that well, and
Yeah,
almost hit the wall.
yeah. Well, he had the blue flag out, didn't he? Like you know, he's a lap down, so those guys are racing at it. I can understand from their point of view. You just got to go for that gap when it's there, and unfortunately, Danny has been tangled up in that. We are riding on board now with Brett Loxton, the man himself. He has won the championship. He is chasing down Greg Sharp in front of him.
These two cars we've seen have issues already in this race. They've got back out there in their spare cars and are going again. We are nearly up to the halfway point in this race. We're only 5.5 laps off halfway already. This race is flying by at an incredible rate, and there are no cars out there that don't have any damage at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Ethan Warren, he will be absolutely gutted. He had some serious pace out of his all-star car tonight, and one little mistake. There's no runoff here. There's no chance for mistake. He's made a mistake, and it's cost him.
It's almost turning into a street circuit now with how close these concrete walls are. It's got a bit of a street circuit feel, like a Gold Coast feel, because the walls are so close. You've got those big sausage curbs that absolutely propel the car. Will we see Loxton look at making a move here? Not quite close enough.
You got to just be patient and wait for Greg Sharp, which he's done, to make a mistake. You just saw it there. You saw the line as he's coming in there. I'd like to see a different angle of that one, because you just see it. You can see it on the turning point that when they make a mistake, well, you know, when they're coming in there and they turn that split second too late, well, it's all over. How do you regain from that? You need to jump on the brakes, and then you have the chance of the car behind you going up your backside. So there we go. He touched that curb, or that inside curb, that first left-hander, a bit too hard, and it just unbalanced the car.
Well, commentator's curse is straight ahead. Commentator's curse well and truly on for you, Fonty.
No, so what's happened there? Okay, I'll explain this. What's happened there? Bo's actually jumped back in the car from whoever was driving, and Bo was in the pits of saying he's P3 at the moment.
I actually think he's had some sort of failure there. He might have blown it up coming into the turn one. He blown it up.
He had.
Yes, possibly. We lost him there for a second.
I'm wondering, we're racing on a temporary rig at the moment. Yeah, he's running on a temporary rig at the moment, so I'm wondering if he's had some sort of tech failure.
Too far away.
Yeah, that is possible. We've got Benjamin Smith side by side with Michael Taliancic. This is for third and fourth. Only these top four have not pitted. We know Taliancic loves to play the fuel game.
Oh, good run by Smith.
Smith
car is pretty damaged, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not looking too healthy. Of course, been in the wars with Guy Leach and that incident earlier. But Taliancic, his car looks absolutely perfect. Here's one car out there that is crystal clear and nice and clean.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Onto the apron.
Here we go. He's side by side. Now, I tell you what. Whoa. These guys. Okay, so just back off there, guys, a little bit, as we're going to see them race on now. Taliancic, he's running that inside line there. Is he going to come into the pit lane? Yes, he is. Is he going to get done with speeding in pit lane?
He looked like he pulled it up okay. James Mackay as well in the pit. So only two cars left to pit. Benjamin Smith and Tom Curran. These guys have got to be careful, though, to not get caught out by the safety car. If it comes out now, they are in trouble.
Yep, may as well hang up the gloves for the night if the safety car comes out now, because... Yes.
Haber is 21 seconds behind Tom Curran. And big advantage that these guys that have pitted will be having too is the track will be cooling even more. So the conditions will be getting more ideal for fresh tyres, as Haber's getting held up here by Benjamin Smith. Smith struggling with grip.
Whoa, there we go. Haber. So Haber, he needs to be sensible about this. Obviously, he's got a car closing in behind.
Oh, wow.
How do you
and have a look at that too. Just as the safety car gets called out, the lights come on.
There we go. Yeah, I had the lights come on for me a little bit earlier, but that is awesome stuff. I tell you what, lights coming on. We just need to be up. Can you flash them yet? Is the next question.
Not in the V8, no. But,
no, not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully we do see that one day. Because one person who would love to do that is Bo Albert. He'll be racing in every event.
Wow. What a start to this race. I'll tell you what, I'm glad that there's a safety car because we can actually catch our breath again. But, wow, what a start to the race. We've only got 17 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, so this is a track that bites, isn't it? It really bites, and it bites hard. Do we see this in the official schedule at some point? I tell you what, it's going to be an intense battle if we do. Riding on board now with the safety car, and it looks absolutely fantastic. What an awesome shot there. You don't really get to see what the track kind of looks like when you're just having a, following cars around, but riding on board, looking up there at the sky. iRacing have done a fantastic job with this. I think it's absolutely awesome, and the day-night transitions, that's such a cool thing. It's literally been talked about since I've been involved with iRacing, and to see it come to light and see these guys cruising around, we've just seen them flick from not having their headlights on to having headlights on, and we don't normally see that, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool moment for sim racing. What's going on here? Simon Zomo.
He's just trying to get some TV time, I think.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. No, big shout out to Simon. Simon is a part of GT Leagues Australia, who organise and some of the series that we broadcast.
Yeah, one of the founding members of GT Leagues Australia, which of course is the Sprint Series Australasia and the Porsche Super Cup and Oceanic Endurance Championship that we've had. It's been...
There we go. I've been fed some information. This shows how often I look at the schedule and the calendar. Thank you, Mark Samuel, for informing me about the calendar, that we do have this track in the official calendar, which is in the second half. So hopefully these guys can do lots and lots of practice.
Also just been fed some other information that Greg Sharp actually was leaking fuel after his incident. So that's why he had to come in and pit and get the spare car and lost a fair bit of time, is he actually was leaking fuel, which is pretty cool. I mean, cool that it happened, but not cool for him. No,
so that's all the little things that happen, and I tell you what, if you think about it in real life, well, he's hit that curb pretty hard, and I can imagine that the fuel cell in the back would have taken a bit of a hiding. So, yeah, leaking fuel is pretty cool effect to have in iRacing, but hard luck for Greg Sharp there.
So the field now resets. Haber leads, Brady Myers in second, Jackson Suzlin Harlow in third, James McKee in fourth, Kyle Stokes in fifth. Brett Loxton's got back up into sixth, even with that those issues he's had. So Loxton isn't out of this. The only issue for Loxton is he might have to save a lot of fuel to get home, because he's probably about 4 laps short on fuel. One thing about this circuit is there's so much fuel saving that can be done.
Yep, that's exactly right. Fuel save. Now we are over half race distance. So are we? No, not quite.
Pretty much halfway.
Pretty much halfway. So save as much fuel as you can. Roll it around. What a fantastic circuit this is. So much elevation change. Really. You normally wouldn't see, I don't think, supercars race on a track like this in real life. It would be quite hard on them, but that's the joys of sim racing, isn't it? You can just go anywhere you want, jump on an aeroplane and fly to the States and race your car, and then, fly back to Australia and race at Bathurst, all in the same moment.
So let's see how Haber goes controlling this field. He's got his main nemesis over the past couple of months in Jackson Suzlin Harlow, only 2 positions back. Brady Myers is trying to time this run perfectly. See that Haber's dropped off a little bit, and Brady Myers is making sure he keeps that gap between those 2 cars as tight as possible.
That is a fantastic shot. Coming into night time, I know, Cam, yourself, you've done night meetings and go-karts where you are racing at about this time, and it's pretty cool to race under lights.
An absolute awesome event to be a part of when you go under lights, and just adds to that extra spectacle that motor racing is, as I believe the safety car is in, and we're back.
Yeah, there we go. So Harley, he absolutely caned it there off the start, but great start there from Myers. He was certainly not mucking around. Got a little bit of a gap though back to Jackson. Not too much. Oh, big moment there for Brady Myers as we're looking at the rear view of Harley Haber. Benjamin Smith around. That is heartbreak for him. He has not had a good race. Back focusing up the front though, and Myers is responding to Haber. I must say, I'll tell you what, Haber manages to get the corners right every single lap most of the time, and he does very well at keeping it off the wall. Can we see these two fight all the way to the end?
Oh, Brady Myers, that's a massive slide, just held on. That was commitment plus. It's going to go back in the field a little bit, because have a look at this pack. McKnight, Varga and Pickering going at it. Stephen Varga's under a lot of pressure right now. Here comes Warren Pickering looking to make a move around the outside. This chicane is probably the key passing opportunity.
Whoa, is he going to be able to pull it up? He's gonna pull it up.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, that was fantastic stuff.
It's not over.
The story's over with. Jamie is gonna break here, and he's gonna have the inside line, but he's not gonna get a good run out. He's still gonna have the inside line, however. Now this is closing up those cars behind. What a fantastic battle we've got going on here.
So McKnight, 10th.
Oh, we're seeing a
Tom
car
Curran
behind there, so redback cars
Tom
making
Curran
moves past each other.
Tom Curran, out of the pits. Yep, out of the pits with fresh tyres. So he could be one to watch here. He could be able to make some moves. It's going to be a tough ask. But have a look at that, just behind Brendan Jackson and Shane Evans side by side. And here comes Jake Maloney to get involved.
Yep. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Maloney, he's going to have that inside line. We've got a replica of the DJR Team Penske car running there on the outside, representing Scotty Mack. Hello, big shout out to Scotty Mack. Did a lot of racing on
he used to be a commentator
night.
Here on
he did.
Back in the old V8s Online days here in Sandman. Used to be an awesome team commentating together. It's we can say that we've had a V8 Supercar champion in the commentary box. We've had 4 V8 Supercar drivers and now a V8 Supercar champion in the booth.
Yep, certainly have. It's absolutely awesome. I do hope we do see Scotty back here having a crack. I know that you know, you need to spend a lot of time in this V8 Supercar to be on the pace and be right at the front. Time that those guys certainly don't have any more real life racing commitments. But Kyle Stokes doing a fantastic job. I tell you,
Jesus,
wow,
there's a curse.
That was the worst curse I've ever done in my life. I'm really sorry about that, Kyle, because that was bad. I'm done, guys. I'm not even talking for the rest now because that was terrible.
You're gonna get some hate mail from Brendan O'Brien.
That was worse than the Christopher Kessie moment there. But I tell you what, he was doing a fantastic job. That was Kyle Stokes.
Brendan Jackson have to get out of the throttle because he was side by side with Stephen Varga coming up into the chicane.
Run though.
Yeah,
he's going to get it. He's got the run. I think. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he's going to get this one. I would think. No, he backs out. So, or does he? He's going to in and out him. He's going to get the inside line potentially. Yes, he's going to have that drive on the inside line. But we've got in the background there the 17 car. Shane Evans wants to get in amongst this action.
Great fight in this mid-pack, 13th, 14th and 15th. Oh, Jackson up the inside, still side by side. Jackson's going to have to give up a spot to Evans by the look of how this is playing out at the moment. No, he's going to hold on. Going to go back up the field because have a look at this. Jackson, Susan and Harlow. James Mackay going at it, coming into the final chicane.
There we go. So,
Big blow from McKee.
Yes. Hey, that was a fantastic move, and he's going to have the inside line there. So you've really, if that person throws it up the inside and is committed enough, then that trailing driver's really got no option but just to back off.
Some great battling going out on track now that a few drivers are probably getting a little bit more of a feel for the circuit. It probably has evolved a little bit more than some drivers would have expected as well. It is great to see how much it has changed over the course of these 25 laps. We've got about 20 minutes of racing to go, 16 laps remaining in this one. Yeah, one thing that is freaking me out a little bit is this circuit now out of NASCAR 2. There used to be a grandstand there that is no longer there, and it freaks me out a little bit not seeing it there.
Yeah, it's an interesting sight to actually not see that there. Possibly due to safety reasons, possibly even just slight circuit modification. But yeah, really, really different to see it not.
I think it was actually just due to number of people going to Charlotte to watch the racing. They're taking the stands out to move more people onto the front straight, so it's a little bit more cost effective, have one less grandstand. But we go back to this battle pack between James Mackay, Jackson Susan Harlow, and now there is a third car involved because the fastest car on track other than Harley Haber is Brett Loxton.
There we go, Loxton back in the mix.
Love how much of the circuit you can use through that chute, through the back part of the circuit. Everyone's using all the track plus more at the moment. Great to see all these fights going on.
Well, Harlow might have a run here by the looks of it down the back straight.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get the move done. Not going to be close enough, but I think he just needs to set up for the next section. If he can set up, oh, that's too much curve. Loxton's going to get the position.
There we go, so Loxton back in the mix.
Seeing too, Danny Vassell is out of the race as well. He's had another issue, so he is back into the pits. And looks like race done. Jake Maloney has got himself up into 11th position after having the car on pole and having some issues very early on. Out of our 45 cars that started the race, we have 17 cars out, 18 cars out of the race so far. It's incredible the number of cars that we've had drop out of this race so far.
Yeah, it actually is. Although, like we said at the start of the race, the rate of attrition was probably going to be a lot higher than most other tracks, just primarily from the fact that there's not a lot of room for error, and with how committed the circuit is in certain parts, especially the backstraight chicane.
Go to this pack back in the field a little bit because that pack we were watching has dropped off a little bit. But Warren Pickering, David Kidman, Kyle Stokes, who we know Kyle's got a little bit of damage to his car, Tom Curran and Jake Maloney all getting rather close. You can see how close Pickering is closing up to the back of David Kidman. And look at the run he's got. The momentum is so good from Pickering. He gains a spot.
Yeah, really, really good drive there out of the backstraight chicane there. He's actually got the job done before they even get out of NASCAR.
And Maloney's right up alongside Tom Curran now. Will Curran be able to hold on? He is for now, but Curran has to be careful of Maloney, who is on a charge as well. Maloney set the second fastest lap out on track last lap by. Haber doing a 13.1. Maloney a 13.3. The only other driver doing 13.3s is Brett Loxton, who's trying to get up there and get into a podium position. He's starting to close up on James McKee.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing really good. Oh, Maloney having a look up the inside of Curran there. Nearly got it done, but just didn't quite have the run. He's looking to try and get the exit actually onto the oval, but it's just not quite got it done. Really sideways.
Watch for Curran here. He might be close enough to get a move done on Kinman. Just seen Brady Myers drop down the timing sheets because he's facing the wrong direction. He has heavy contact with something because the whole right-hand side of that car. West End Mazda replay up on screen, and we'll pick up exactly what has happened to Brady Myers. Starting to come under pressure from James Mackay, and Mackay also hit the tyre bundle there. So Brett Loxton's gone from 5th at the midpoint of last lap. He's into 2nd.
Yeah, that's really, really good for Brett, but really unfortunate for Brady. That inside curb on that last left-hander through the backstraight chicane has caught out actually quite a few cars. The way that it's actually unbalanced the car has been really, really strange to see, as you normally wouldn't see that from that sort of a curb. So, yeah, it's really, really interesting to see and really, really unfortunate, actually.
Pickering starting to feel pressure as well from Curran and Maloney, and Kinman, who's dropped back behind these guys, just trying to hang on. But here comes Maloney. He's going to have to go the long way around. Actually surprised that no one's dropped down to the apron to potentially get a move done. But Curran defending very, very well at the moment. Love the speed that you can see from these guys coming through that chicane, and Maloney so sideways for a change of direction.
Yeah, so hard to get it right.
Maloney looking up the inside.
Oh.
Whoa!
Here we go.
I'll tell you what, that's...
he's hit the wall with the flick spin as well.
Yeah, and that was almost a photo finish, an instant replay of the real-life race here a few months ago in the NASCAR Cup Series. Kyle Stokes bouncing it off the curbs, really struggling to hold on. He's got 11 and a half laps to go. Pickering is well and truly ready to pounce.
He's right there on the tail of Stokes at the moment. Stokes doing everything he can, but possibly a little bit of damage hindering him as well, whereas Pickering's got actually quite a fresh car by the looks. Minor bit of damage to the left rear quarter panel, but by the looks of it, that car's fairly clean, and Pickering's actually got a bit of a run here, but he's not going to be able to get the job done, is he?
Oh,
or
yes.
they're going to go side by side.
Stokes going to get out of the throttle here. Or is he?
Or maybe not. Oh, that was a big...
Wow.
How he did not roll that, I will never know.
Yeah, I think Stokes actually got out of the throttle there thinking that he was going to be all over. Had to watch out for that car ahead, but they're continuing on. So Pickering now into 6th position, doing a great job. The gap between Loxton and Haber is stretching out now. It's nearly 8 seconds, so Haber's doing everything right. Still the fastest car on track. Up the inside goes Curran, and Curran now into 7th position.
I tell you what, this is a fantastic battle. Your pick of tonight, Tom Curran. He is doing fantastically. Oh, there we go. We're seeing a pursuit car just in the background there. Kinman has done around, and I'll tell you the reason why that's happened. It's because he's not running that yellow colours today.
Hey, you told him that you liked the red and black though, didn't you?
I do like the red and black, but I like the yellow and black better. He needs to run it. It'll bring him good luck, but yeah, the rear end's just come around on him. He hasn't been able to collect it. I
tell you what though, he was unlucky that he didn't do that an extra 20 metres up the road, because he would have missed that inside wall.
Yep, there we go. So, just watching, is that Maloney? No, Harlow. Harlow had a bit of a moment coming through the chicane section. And
Curran, the commitment from Curran through the chicane as he tries to get the momentum.
Go wide. He's going to go wide. We're going to have Pickering hold the inside line. Oh, he's going to pull it up. He's going to get the move done. That is absolutely fantastic stuff. Who's got that in the background? Was that Stokes behind them, launching it off the curb?
Maloney in the pits. He's done.
Day done for Maloney. So Taliancic there. Curran now in P6. He has just overtaken Pickering. That, I tell you what, that was a move. That was the move of the night for me, because that was so convincingly done, it wasn't funny.
Let's see what Pickering does now that he's trailing behind Tom Curran, who's looked really quick. Curran, one of the fastest cars out on track, not the fastest, but one of, and Curran just having some tech issues, which will be making it a little bit more difficult for Pickering. I love how wide they go coming out of the infield and through onto the oval. My thought would have been you would have tried to hug the inside and stick it from the apron, but these guys seem to have worked out that that's the way to do it. So it surprised me, the line. Have a look at Curran bouncing off the chicane. Loxton is not going to be able to save enough fuel though.
Yeah, no, that's really, really unfortunate for Loxton there. He nearly had second in the bag, but that now promotes Harlow to second, Nikita third, and I think Loxton will actually probably drop outside of the top 15. Or down to 14th, actually.
There you go.
David Kidman also in the pits to get some damage fixed, so no real surprise there that Kidman's in. I do not see a clean car out on circuit at the moment though. Haber, a little bit of a scrape on the side of his car, but it looks reasonably clean, especially in comparison to everyone else. Jackson Susan Harlow missing panels and big scrapes down the right hand side of his car. James Mackay, a little bit of damage to his car, but it looks fairly straight as well. One of the better looking cars. Taliancic, well, his car is looking very, very straight, except for one missing panel on the right hand front. But Tom Curran and Warren Pickering, those guys have got plenty of damage on their cars as they throw these things over the chicane.
It's actually really, really interesting to also see the amount of damage from the curbs as well. Usually you don't.
Wow, I tell you what, he is doing that section of the track absolutely perfectly. We are riding on board with him now as we're coming through the last section of the track. We're going to go right and then we're going to go left. Power down over the start-finish line. He is on a roll and he is wanting to chase down that fourth position. He has to find 1.5 seconds to Taliancic. So that is definitely possible. I think he's going to struggle maybe to find Mackay.
Yeah, I think he's going to struggle for that, but he's half a second quicker. Last lap by was Curran over Taliancic, and he was one of the 3 fastest drivers on track last time by. So Curran, one to watch right now. See if he can close this gap up. But look at how sideways now committed he is. There's going to be nothing left in these Dunlops by the end here. Not quite close enough to pick up the draft to Taliancic at this point, but he won't be far away from getting that draft. Be able to use that advantage. It's saying that he's already got the gap down to 1.2 seconds. Kyle Stokes also back past Warren Pickering. Something's happened to Pickering. Pickering's slow.
I think he might have damage.
It's blown up.
Has
he? Pickering has blown an engine.
Say goodbye to the engine. We've seen a few casualties and engine builder will be busy on Monday.
Actually, it sounds like he's run out of fuel. He's just struggling to pick up the throttle. That's strange. We did hear earlier that there was cars that were leaking fuel from damage from the curbs.
Yes, that might be what's done it. The amount of curb hopping has punctured the...
That is very, very plausible that that is what has happened, is he's punctured a hole in the fuel tank, bouncing it over the curbs. We'll try and find out more after the race completes, but he has got into the pit, so if he can put some fuel in the car, might be able to limp it home. But Taliancic and Curran now, nose to tail. Curran will get this draft advantage down the back straight. James Mackay also closing up on Jackson Susan Harlow, so second and third is not complete at this stage. Harley Haber's got that gap out to nearly 12 seconds at the front, but this battle for fourth and fifth is well and truly on. Here comes Curran. He's going to get this move done very, very quickly.
Yeah, he's going to look to go around the outside, not quite going to get it done.
They're going to have to go again and try and get this move done. We'll also keep one eye on the gap between Jackson Susan Harlow and James Mackay, because it is now down to 1.2 seconds and closing quickly. Last lap by, Jackson Susan Harlow a 15.1, James Mackay a 13.8, 1.3 second difference in regards to pace.
Yeah, wow, okay, so Mackay, he is coming at a great rate of knots. Taliancic is struggling. Curran wants to get the job done. Now with the current pace of Harlow, if he doesn't be careful, we have got 5 laps to go, and there is a pace difference between those two. Well, there's basically under a second, so Yeah, no, it's probably not possible for Curran to get up there, as Curran's going to make the move on Taliancic. Taliancic is going to drop back to P number 5.
Taliancic in the wall!
Oh!
Absolutely got that completely wrong. And that is race done for Michael Taliancic.
He
saw him bounce off the curb wrong.
Kicking himself. He'll be kicking himself with that one.
Just got the second part of the chicane completely wrong. Looked like he might have been going through a little bit too quick.
Well, mate, go back to the yellow and black. Okay, because that may not have happened if it was yellow and black. Just saying. Just saying.
We come back live to the battle for second and third, because we said last time we checked it was 1.2 seconds. That's nowhere like 1.2 seconds at the moment. It is under half a second.
Yeah, here we go. This battle is going to be fantastic, and I tell you what, Harlow will not want to give this up at all. Interesting
thing is, Tom Curran could get back in there. If these two guys fight too hard, it is not done.
Yeah, you are right. So he's got 7.5 seconds to find, which is going to be a difficult ask. But yeah, certainly if we see a mistake from one of these guys, but we're seeing Curran, he is dropping pace. We're seeing a little bit of pace drop. The time is stretching out between
to slow down a little bit now that he doesn't have to push on
he's
too
struggling
hard.
for fuel, maybe a little bit. I'm not sure.
Keys right there though. There's nothing in it.
On that back bumper. He's going to get the better run, but he's not going to be able to do it. Take advantage. Can he take advantage out of here? He has to get off the gas, and that's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Coming into the right hander here. Big elevation change coming up. We come over the right and then into the left. Big long sweeping turn. And then we're going to get onto the straight. Power down, boys. Power down. McKay wants to get the job done. He has the pace to. Can he make the move cleanly? He's looking either way.
I just had a car blow up in the background as well. Sorry, Fonty.
Oh, no, that's okay, mate. I'm used to you jumping in and taking over.
The unintentional sledging is on as McKay looking to get up the inside, not quite close enough.
Oh,
big mistake. And this is what I was talking about. This is the chance for Curran to maybe capitalise here.
Yeah, here we go. So this is opening up a chance for Curran. I don't think that he can. So what? 5.1 is separating those guys. So
it's only going to take one mistake.
4.5 seconds.
It's only going to take one little mistake, though, for one of these cars. Taliancic is done. He's out of the race. That was his car that blew up. It did explode in the pits by the sounds of things. So unfortunate for Taliancic. Tell you what, all of our championship protagonists either were unable to attend or have not had a great showing. Loxton in 8th position, but everyone else that's in that top sort of echelon in the championship have not had a great night. Kyle Stokes in 5th. Won't be too happy with that, but a lot of the other guys not had a great night as well. Next week, only one round to go in this championship. We head to Bathurst for 650 k's of racing.
I can't believe it. It's the last.
I can't either.
It's gone.
I tell you what, this is flowing by.
This championship has flown by.
Yeah, it has. It has absolutely flown by, and what a great season it has been. Obviously, this has been our first season broadcasting for the guys there at the Australian Online Supercar Championship, and it has been a fantastic year, a fantastic season for us, and yeah, certainly I've been a part of, well, nearly everyone. I think me and you have missed one each, haven't we, Jay?
Yeah, one each we've missed. I missed from having a little bit of surgery, and you missed because you were on a plane, I think.
Yes, that's right. No, I was on a bus, but I tuned in anyway because Cam Dance was in there. No, I tuned in for it, made sure I was on. I was still up with the play. There we go. So we've got Curran slowing right down.
Yeah, I think he might be.
I think he's
struggling on fuel, or is he out of fuel?
He's out.
He's out.
He's out of fuel.
You're done now.
Well, truly.
Is what it's saying.
And he pitted under that safety car and took a fair drop of fuel as well. So that's disappointing for Curran. Tell you what, that's the ultimate commentator's curse, because I said he was going to do all right at the start of the race. It's just heartbroken right at the end.
I tell you what, Tom, that was a fantastic drive from you either way. That was fantastic. But this man on screen now, he has driven
McKnight's out of fuel as well.
Unbelievably well.
Wow.
McKnight out of fuel.
One thing I think that some of the guys may not have factored in is the fact that they will use more fuel when they're out on track by themselves as opposed to in a pack.
Yeah, I think you're right. But getting back to this man on screen now, he is a young guy, races in real life, does an absolutely fantastic job. We have seen him come from being not so consistent, getting tangled up in drama and incidents, and not being patient enough, turn his driving around in the last few months. Since coming on board with Mark there at Redback Racing Team, we have seen new things from Harley Haber, and he is only corners away from claiming his first ever Australian Online Supercar Championship round win. He's supporting...
Actually, second.
Oh, there we go. Has he claimed one?
Yes,
well,
he claimed one.
Well, there we go. So I was wrong, but he's going to come over the line either way, and he is going to win the first broadcasted race here on SimSpeed TV at the Charlotte Roval. Absolutely fantastic drive from Harley tonight. Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. And his main rival finishing in P number 2. Well done to Jackson Susan Harlow. James McKee will come home in position number 3. Kyle Stokes.
Good recovery.
Good recovery. Excellent recovery there from Kyle. He will come home. He's driving for the Evolution Racing Team now. Recently signed in this last week. He's come home to finish in 4th, so great result from him. Brendan Jackson. Now, we normally don't see him in the top 10, really. And he's going to finish back home in 5th. Brett Loxton, well, he sealed up the championship. He didn't need to press on. Shane Evans, however, fantastic drive from him. And then we're going to see Greg Sharp, I believe.
Now, Sharp's a lap down in 14th position.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, Kinman.
9 cars on the lead lap.
Come back. And
Brenton O'Brien's out of fuel.
Brenton, what's going on, mate?
Is he going to make it?
Is he going to
make it?
Ask from there.
He could actually run out of time on the timer. That's his issue he's got. He's got, what, about 40 seconds to cross the line?
Oh, he should be alright. Should be.
He must be very borderline if he's going this steady. I would have just gone straight ahead at the chicane there, Brenton. Didn't need to turn.
Yeah, just bang it on.
Straight over it.
Go to Jay Kennedy's driving school.
Oh, I'll teach you all the bad ways. I mean the good ways. You know what I mean.
Yeah, all the good ways of driving.
Horribly.
There we go. Well done to Brenton. He will be the last car on the lead lap. He is going to make it home. He's probably got not enough to even turn the car around, but he's done, and well done to him. So we started with about 400 cars, and we had 9 on the lead lap. So fantastic stuff there. But either way, here we go. Here is the results. I'll do the first.
Go for
it. Okay. I must say that this is an absolutely fantastic drive. Well done to Harley Haber on his second, I've been informed, round win of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. First win here on SimSpeed TV at the circuit, and with the day-night transitions. Well done to him, and well done to his team manager, Mark, for coaching Harley and bringing that up and really pushing that team forward. In second position, we have Jackson Susan Harlow. He's recently moved over to the TTL Esports camp, and his pace was phenomenal tonight. We saw him get tangled up in a few little incidents here and there with other people, but he's come home to finish in P number 2. Fantastic drive from Jackson. James McKee, well, I tell you what, that is great to see him right up there at the pointy end. He stayed out of trouble for the majority of the race, and he has managed to come home and close out that last step of the podium. Kyle Stokes, we saw him get tangled up in a little bit of stuff there towards the end of the race. He's still managed to come home in P number 4. Brendan Jackson, Valkyrie Sim Racing, finishes in P number 5. Brett Loxton sealed up the championship at the last round and just needed to cruise around. Didn't even need to race in this one, I don't think, to still claim that championship. He will finish in P number 6. Shane Evans will finish in P number 8. David Kinman, He will finish in Shane Evans will finish in P7. David Kinman will finish in P number 8. Brenton O'Brien, team manager of the Evolution Racing team. He's got to be happy with that. The last car on the lead lap. That's certainly an achievement. And yeah, he'll finish in P number 9. Then Chris Barnes will round out the 10.
Brenton O'Brien actually didn't cross the line before the timer ran out, so he's technically one lap down. So Tom Curran in 11th. We just heard he actually dropped oil pressure. Had enough fuel, but the engine stopped because he dropped oil pressure. So that's the reason for his car stopping. Jamie Stovald in 12th. Jamie McKnight in 13th, 2 laps down. Greg Sharp, 3 laps down in 14th. Tony Gaffer, 4 laps down in 15th. And Taliancic in 16th position. We've got Henry King, David Starton, Warren Pickering and Jake Maloney, the top 20. Every other car in this field did not finish the race. Jonathan Bent, Stephen Varga, Daniel Stevens, Brady Myers. What a list of DNFs. Danny Vassell, Simon Mazzomo, Benjamin Smith, Guy Leach, Bo Albert, Trent Gossley, Kai Sloggett, Ethan Warren, Matthew Clote, Adam Wyborn, Mitchell Bales, Dane Warren, Marlon McMullen, David Miller, Corey Ott, Brett Gerardis, Troy DeBono, Matthew Kidd, Brad Haig, Griffin Gardner, and Mark Newton. Amazing that we've had so few cars finish that race from how many started. That's incredible to see how few finished the race. But we move on. We've got one more round to go in this championship. Next Friday night, 7:45 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Bathurst for 650 kilometres of racing. Fonty, I know you'll be here. Cam, hopefully you'll be here as well. It's going to be a really, really epic night.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're exactly right. Go on there, Cam.
I was just going to say, it's going to be an absolutely awesome night. Bathurst, final round, couldn't have ended the season here.
You're exactly right there, Cam. What an absolutely fantastic season we have had for the Australian Online Supercars Championship. I've absolutely loved calling this season. This season it's been what I've done on a Friday night here in New Zealand, or when I've been overseas, Friday in the morning. I wouldn't have my Fridays either way. And yeah, what a fantastic night of racing tonight. I can't praise the man who won tonight's race enough. I tell you what, Harley, keep driving like that, buddy, because that is fantastic stuff. And you will see yourself standing at the top step of the podium for the championship eventually very, very soon. And also, well done to Jackson Harlow, James McKee. Mate, that was a fantastic drive from you. And to get on the podium, we don't normally see you that far up the pointy end, but you kept yourself out of trouble and you've come home with a result. So all success from me.
Yep, and it's been a really, really awesome season throughout. We've only got 2 broadcasts left for 2018.
There we go.
Tomorrow night. Yeah, the English language is
that shows
absolutely
how
gone.
much of a long year it's been.
It has.
Can't even say it. So.
Yep. 2 broadcasts left for the year, and tomorrow night we will have Max Bantz, the Max Bantz Open. One of the most entertaining, fun, bizarre, strange nights of sim racing you'll ever see here on SimSpeed TV. Jake Sperry and Reese Gardner present one of the most bizarre formats of racing you'll ever see. We're going to have the IndyCar at Lime Rock, but not the good version, the horrible version with the dodgy chicane. After 10 minutes of racing, they're going to eliminate a driver every 2 laps, 1 from the back, and then the next time it'll be 1 from the front until there's 4 left. Then they'll race for 10 minutes, winner takes all. Going to be a really, really cool format, something really different, really out there. It's going to be good fun. As we said, next Friday night, our last broadcast for 2018 here on SimSpeed TV will be the final round of the Australian Online Supercar Championship presented by LeBlanc and West End Mazda. We head to Bathurst for 650 Ks of racing. And we will wrap it up there. We've got no one coming in for interviews because I think everyone's a little bit exhausted after that one. It was an epic night of racing. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes from the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Until our next broadcast, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.